All right, my friends, welcome. It's Ty Hicks, founder of Mastering Ethical and Lasting Influence, Financial Mastery University, results coach, and national influence trainer. I'm so excited to have you here. Today, what I want to talk about is something that the science of strategic intervention has to teach us about what our human behavior is oriented towards. In other words, why is it that we do what we do even when we are so uncertain as to what our actual motives are? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever kept a behavior around and you didn't know why? Have you ever navigated through life and you felt unsure as to why certain things that people would say or do just pissed you off or created a reaction in you that you knew at one level was irrational, but at another level you couldn't explain? Have you ever had the experience where you're navigating your life and you're going from moment to moment and different experiences are irritating you or causing an unsavory emotional reaction that reminds you of unfavorable moments from the past? Have you ever also been going throughout life and all of a sudden you feel like the conscience of your mother or father or some other voice from your past is guiding your decisions more than your current conscious identity? Well, what all of these experiences have in common is the fact that there was a key decision that you made many, many years ago that you probably are not conscious of to this day. And I want to try to help you uncover this, because with the clients that I have who have these invisible psychological barriers between where they are now and where they want to be, what I find is almost 9 times out of 10 what has happened is they made a key decision in the past that they linked up. They created a strong psychological association, in other words, between a particular stimulus and a particular reaction. And that has persisted throughout life. And even though they've outgrown it, even though it's no longer supporting them, that association was at one point trying to serve them. And now it's time for them to outgrow it. But the only way to outgrow it is to understand it and to be able to release it, because when you resist it, it tends to persist. And that's something that I try to share with people as well. So let's get concrete. That's kind of the big picture. Let's drill down into an example. So, for example, here's a question for you. When you were growing up, whose love did you crave more? I'm sure you loved both your parents, but whose love did you crave more? And the answer to that is going to tell us a little bit about how you've navigated your life so far. Now, here's the next question. Let's assume it's one of your parents. Now, the next question is, who did you have to be for that person? And really take a minute and think on that for a minute. Who did you have to be? Who else did you have to be? Try to pull a few key answers, 1 to 5. Who else did you have to be for that person? And you really want to get that out. Maybe write it down. In fact, it'd be a very good exercise for you. What is revealing about this process is for you to see that very often you learned some time ago that in order to get love, you needed to be a certain way. And you may have made a decision at one point. In fact, you may have made a decision in a moment that doing X meant getting love. And that may have been something that you've kept for a very long time. Chances are that that's the case. Chances are that who you had to be for the person whose love you craved most guided a whole hell of a lot of your behavior and probably got you very much to where you are right now. Now, it's not saying it's for better or worse or whatever the case is, but the reason why I bring this up to you is because most people never are asked that question. Most people have no idea how deeply rooted those associations go in terms of guiding our behavior. And my purpose for you, my intention for you in this video is to prompt you to move out of the realm of reaction, right? That's what I'm all about. Is I don't want you to just be going through life on autopilot, reacting poorly to things because that's what you learned to do in the past. If you've got a key decision you made in the past that is still supporting you, that's aligned behind the life that you want to design for yourself, fantastic. Keep it. Strengthen it even if you like. You know, if your father was the person you craved love from most, and your father created a belief structure in you that you needed to be an upstanding, honest, and ambitious individual, and that's something that's aligned with who you want to be, fantastic. Reinforce it. But the reason I do this is because most of my clients have at least one big key decision that they made some time ago that is responsible for a big fat problem in their life right now. Maybe they got hurt in the past, and so they made a decision that said, I'm never going to love openly again because it means I'm going to get burned. And what that means is now they will be in a romantic relationship and have difficulty with intimacy or having the ability to genuinely create a life with someone because they're not able to embrace that level of humility and vulnerability. And that's a big problem. So the point here is to achieve personal freedom, as I like to say, meaning that you're no longer slavishly tied to your limiting, invisible psychological patterns, but instead that your belief structure, that your values, that your rules, that your key decisions are now fully aligned behind the life you want to create. So take a good hard look at the key decisions you've made in the past. If you have difficulty arriving at them, go back to that question and sit and meditate with it for a minute and say, well, who did I have to be for the person that I craved love from the most? Write it down, look at it, take a good hard look and see if it still resembles who you want to be in this moment. And if not, it's time to make a new key decision.